Hello YouTube, today at powerjackrepair.org we got an MSI MS-17f3. Pretty much all of the MSIs that are stating eindhoven 57065692 are sun at the same thing. This is from a different video. The client sent it to us for the power connector repair, which is right here on this side. And I'm gonna take it apart and I'm gonna show you how to replace it yourself, or if you want, you could send it to us. If you can send us just the motherboard, or you could send us the whole thing. That's the prices that we charge in this year. Because of the inflation, we have to adjust the pricing now. It's still less than the inflation that happened over the last 5 years, but I mean, we used to charge less 20 years ago, but have to kind of raise the prices now. So nothing's going to be hidden. I will just show you that how to do it, and this is a really common model here, probably done hundreds of those already. Not specific to 17f3, but specific to MSI. This type of laptop looks something like that. All right, this is how it looks. So if you have something similar, this is it. The client also asked us to replace the battery on this one as well. So yeah, let's take it all apart. All right, and somebody already took it apart before because the factory seal is broken, so no big deal. Most of the laptops we receive already somebody worked on. Looks good, looks good. All right, let's try out take a plastic pry bar. Somebody already was doing something here. Maybe not, but usually what you do, you just put a plastic piece in there and you just go around. Okay, good job. Good job. Set that aside. All right, and that's the battery that the client asking us to replace. Nobody disconnected anything here before, because I can see this is a factory tape. So we're just gonna set this guy here. Now, before I'm gonna do anything, those batteries are usually glued and it's kind of hard to lift them up, so you have to preferably disconnect this guy first, but you can't really disconnect it because you can't lift it up. So let's try and see if we can just disconnect. Right. Just rock it back and forth and it does come out. Well, since... Nope, doesn't want to come out. Again, on this channel I got 1000+ videos, and I'm sure I have about a dozen of videos of how to take similar laptops apart, those MSI series, MS series laptops. And you could see how I removed the batteries there. Alright, so there is basically a two-sided tape underneath here and underneath right there. So it's better just to do something like that. Okay, so here is the old battery. I need to set it aside because I'm gonna replace it. Alright, so this is it doesn't look like a factory, it's something else. Oh, strange. Is that the factory? Oh yeah, So what happened here, this is a sticker on the battery, which probably also need to come out. You see, so it's glued in here and here. All right, that's a battery sticker. All right, I was like, I never seen this before. So the battery sticker, you're gonna put back onto the battery. It was like that. All right. But yeah, I mean, we're putting a new battery in, and I'm not sure how well the new battery gonna perform because it seems like an aftermarket battery as well. But sometimes you never know if the aftermarket battery is better than the non-aftermarket. Hard to say. All right, so we remove this sticker. We remove screw for the Wi-Fi. It's a separate screw. Just put it aside separately. You wanna set this guy apart. And here it's the usual. This is the connector. And I do need to remove the heatsink for one simple reason. This motherboard is gonna suck up all the heat, and I'm gonna try to remove this guy. This power connector, power jack, power socket, power input, power port, power connector. It's gonna suck up all the heat, and all the heat gonna be distributed into the heatsink. So you do need to remove the heatsink either way. So if you decide to send us just the motherboard, send us the motherboard without the heatsink, because heatsink needs to be off from the motherboard. Plus, it gets bends in the shipping sometimes. So that's one thing to keep in mind. All right. This screw was kind of loose for some reason. All right, all the screws seems to be the same length. All right, here we got another screw here. All right. And here what we want to do is we want to disconnect the fans. You want to hold down the connector on the bottom so that it's not gonna come out with the cable. So you hold it off here, remove that, and careful about this connection here. Where is my favorite pry bar? Favorite pry bar is probably right here. All right, so we remove that, disconnect this. Yeah, and the reason I make 1000+ videos is so that those of you who want to save some money, you could just take it apart yourself and send us the motherboard if you want, or you can fix it yourself if you want, or you want to try to fix it yourself, and then once you give up, you could send us just the motherboard. So again, I understand that times are tough, even though the market is up, but not everybody is invested heavily. So here we want to make sure that all the pads are in place and that not gonna fall off. So, and yeah, one other thing I want to just mention here. If you send us just the motherboard, make sure you're gonna leave all the pads on the heatsink side. Don't send us the motherboard with the pads, because those pads get stuck to the envelope that you usually send it in, and those pads sometimes when you put it all back together, you're gonna miss a few pads, and if you're gonna miss a few pads, something gonna go down eventually, maybe like in half a year or a year. So just something for you to keep in mind. So here you see that those are the pads I'm talking about right here. So it's better if you just move this pad to here, that pad right there, this pad right here, that pad right there, and this pad goes here, and those 3 pads go right there. But since I have no plans to send it anywhere because it's already here, I'm probably not even gonna bother with those removing those silicone pads. Here, one more screw. Let's hold the motherboard. Just one screw holding the motherboard. All right. So now what we wanna do? We wanna lift this guy up, this motherboard up, disconnect the keyboard connection, disconnect the touchpad probably right here, and the lights for the touchpad, or for whatever, the LED lights for the keyboard maybe. So here, once you disconnect all that, here's your motherboard. And basically, if you remove this pad, that pad, this pad, this pad, and those 3 and 4 pads, you can send it over, and that's gonna be $60. Maybe gonna be a bit more expensive in 2025 and later. Again, depends on situations in the world. So here I am removing the thermal paste because the thermal paste just leaves a lot of mess on the in the soldering chamber. Have a separate soldering chamber to solder the connectors, and some believe it's an overkill, but when you do thousands of those, it's not an overkill. So sometimes you need to have a full-blown, I will probably make a video about the soldering chamber one day once I will have time, but there's no time because thankful to MSI, MSI, Asus, and other brands, those similar brands. Seems like everybody the same manufacturer of the motherboard. So here, all right, I just want to remove all the dust here from the pads. Yeah, good job, wonderful. All right. Alrighty. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Good job. All right. I'm just covering it up with the paper so that the silicone pads won't get too much dust on them. I'm not gonna fall off anywhere while I'm working on the laptop, because it's always a lead or some other stuff that might get stuck there, and solder, I mean, not the lead but solder. Slow this thing down. Here we have some components nearby, but nothing that's really worth to worry about here. We're gonna remove this little rubber tape here, because it's gonna smell pretty bad once the hot air gonna be running. Remove that, and that's probably good enough. I don't think it's gonna melt further out. Okay, so for right now I don't see any damage to the connector, so it might not even be the connector to begin with. I should have tested the laptop before I started to work on it, but let me show you how to remove it from the motherboard and how to solder a new one in. At least I'm gonna make a video about here I wanna clean up the SSD MVNA, is that the name for it? The chip that holds the hard drive. It's not, basically 512 gigabyte NVMe chip, I think it's called, right? Right. NVMe 2. You know what? Let me see what it says here. By the way, if you remove this chip before shipping, there is a pad right there. You see the white pad? That's a silicone pad, and here is another silicone pad right here, which you do need to put back on when you're gonna install it back, because those are the cooling pads for the for your most important information for the. Okay, so this is Kingston and this is Kingston. I'm just seeing what chips are on this board for obvious reasons, because you wanna know. For example, NVIDIA chip is obviously NVIDIA chip. Yeah, that's the stock for that goes up pretty fast and pretty high. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some leaded base solder to here, to the connection points, and I'm gonna use the hot air to drop this guy from the motherboard, see if it's bent and broke right where this pin connects to that central pin right there. So if it's broke right there, I will show you that. If it's not broke right there, I don't know what the problem is. But hopefully, because again, I've done hundreds of this type of connector and this type of computer. Again, the models vary, but it's all the same thing to me. I mean, sometimes I can't even see the difference between Asus and MSI. They're all the same, or CyberPower, or Cleva computer, or Power Spec. I mean, the board is made, seems like, by the same manufacturer, it's just the emblem is different. So here, but I might be wrong. But again, to me, they all look the same. So here, basically, on this, the way how they made this connector, they were thinking that they're gonna be super smart. But the thing is, this pin usually breaks right in there on the inside, where this central pin connects to. This is all one pin, but it always corrects like right at this joint here, right there. All right, so let me show you how to take it off. All right, it takes me like half an hour to set up the camera angle properly. I won't get the system done already 20 times, but here. Let's power up the hot air just to warm up the motherboard and the connector around. What we're gonna do here, we're just gonna add the solder. And it doesn't want to come out. It sits pretty well in there. All right. All right. And it did come out. I don't see anything wrong with the connector itself. So probably wasn't even a connector issue. Let's take a look here. What we want to do, we want to desolder all the solder. The motherboard dissipates the heat really well, like extremely well. Right, so what I'm gonna do is I'll try to desolder some stuff from the top as well. Let's all right, so here. You know what, the solder doesn't want to flow, so what I'm gonna do is I will reflow this hole right here, and reflow this hole right there. Like that and like that. All right, and now let's see if the solder gonna come out much easier. Yeah, beautiful. So once the leaded base solder mixed with the unleaded base solder, everything became much easier to desolder. It drops the melting temperature. All right, so that's that. Let's take a look at the connector. Oh no, hold on. As you can see right here, this is the leg I was talking about. And that's the, is that the connector that came out? Yeah, that's the connector. I mean, I do so many of those, it's hard to figure out which one came out, which one didn't. All right, so let's shut down the hot air. I want to show you under the microscope what happens here, so you would understand what to look for. This is the connector, right? Because when it came apart, it seems like it was intact. All right, let's switch to the microscope. All right, so here's the microscope. You see, this is where the pin that's bent right here, that's supposed to be right there, all right? So where this pin meets this pin is that pin right here, this pin. Let me show you. So this side goes into the motherboard, the one I'm holding. And this side's supposed to be like that, you see? You see right there. So, and it cracks right here. And it's impossible to see it with the naked eye. So you wouldn't know that this is broken. Unless you probably push on this guy down here, and that way it would make contact, because this is soldered to the motherboard. And this is all the same piece, this and that's supposed to be the same piece, this and this. And I'm thankful to whoever makes those connectors and those designs of motherboard. That design is so beautiful. So yeah, I wonder why the whole big pin could not be continued and going into the motherboard, why they had to reduce it like that. But I mean, again, I've been in business for 20 plus years, 24 years by now, I think. 24, yeah. This business has been registered. And I see it every day, all day, every day. And I have my own opinion about that. I just don't wanna go into the conspiracy theories. So, but yeah, thankfully, this is the reason I'm in business. So thank you for choosing me as your provider. That's how it looks on the sides. That's my $1,000 plus microscope that can show you a 3D view of the connection. So you see right there. So it cracks right here. That's your problem right there. All right. So, and you need the whole brand new connector, which I'm gonna go find and show you that I'm putting new connector. All right, so here is a brand new connector. As you can see, it's a one piece in there. It's one piece, and it looks like that. Same exact thing, basically here. You see? Same manufacturer. Same, different date of manufacturing. This is a date of manufacturing, and they look like that. All right, so same exact jack. I have all of them in stock. 20 years in business, I collected the largest collection of connectors there is. So we're gonna install this guy. And you see, this guy is attached right there, all right? Alrighty, so we got the motherboard, we got the new connector. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some flux right here. And it seems like the flux hardened up. Oh, it's the end of the flux, okay. Guess I need to go buy new flags for the studio. All right. I mean, I got tons of flags. I switched to using just one particular brand. Link for it is below because it's less toxic than the other ones. The other ones just smell so bad that they're probably much better chemical-wise, but they're just unbearable. All right, so let's see like that. Let's get something to hold the connector in place. All right. Good job. And what I'm gonna do right away, I'm gonna solder the rear pin from the top. Okay. And we're gonna flip the motherboard. And we're gonna solder the bottom. We're gonna put a couple of pads for the support. And we're gonna add some flux right here. You see I'm adding flux on both sides because the flux is what can penetrate into the motherboard, and that's what's gonna make the solder stick perfectly to the surfaces of both parts. So here like that, like that. All right, good job. Like that. The grounds needs to be soldered. You can even solder the grounds together just in case. And we're gonna solder this guy too. All right, good job. All right. Let's see how beautiful it is. It's beautiful. It's awesome. I want to do a final touch. The final touch needs to be right here for the ground. All right. I want to solder the ground on both sides. That's the key. All right. So let's see. Let's power up the microscope again and show you why I went on such lengths. All right. So let's clean this guy up. I'll show you under the microscope in a second. All right. Let's clean this guy up. Just a tiny little bit. All right. All right. Beautiful and beautiful. Beautiful and beautiful. All right. Kimtech wipes, special chemical wipes for removing chemicals from the motherboard. So I'm just cleaning up the flux. Even though this is a no clean flux, you're not supposed to clean it. I mean, you don't have to clean it. That's what it says. But because I make a YouTube video, it needs to shine, because otherwise somebody gonna make a comment saying that it's not super clean. All right, so let's put it under the all right, so here, oh, hold on. Here, as you can see, the ground, this is the ground, and it's soldered from both sides. You see how it's soldered here on the top, right here to the motherboard. This is just nothing. This is a spacer. It's not, no big deal. It's just, you can even remove the whole pin if you want. This is soldered from the top to the motherboard, from the top, all right, and looks relatively clean. Let's see, yeah, all right, yeah, right there is better. All right, this one I don't solder anything here because the solder can penetrate inside the jack right there, and it will have a problem with this spring right there. This will get soldered to the spring, and that's the reason I don't ever put any solder on this end here, because again, this is a spacer. It's soldered on the bottom just fine, and if I put any solder here, it can get soldered directly with the spring, which you can see right there. Do you see the spring? So if you put some solder, this spring supposed to spring in and out. If you put solder here, this spring not gonna spring anywhere. Right now it springs just fine. So, and on the bottom, we have to do a little bit of cleaning here. All right. Let's bring a brush. Alrighty. Alrighty. Good job. Let's find the Q-tip. I have a lint-free Q-tip someplace, but not here for some reason. It's probably downstairs. Because you have to buy double when you have a studio. Then you have to get the Q-tips for the studio and Q-tips for the place where you work. All right. You see, it's not a lint-free Q-tip, so it leaves the lint on the motherboard, which the cotton lint on the motherboard. This shouldn't be, but it's all flux right there. That's not in flux. All right, so what can I do about it? Let's bring in some. All right. I don't want to be scratching the motherboard with anything else, like with the plastic stuff, to get the flux off. I do have a flux off product called flux off, but it's such a toxic smell from it. It's unbearable. I mean, I would not be able to talk to you here. It's just insanely smellable product. Yeah, this flux doesn't want to come out really easily. That's not something I like. All right, let's. Well, I needed to brush a little bit harder. That's the that's the secret. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so the rest of it would be extremely overkill to clean it. Oh, okay, so I see. It's remaining from that glue. That's all right. Never mind. So it's all because of the glue from this plastic piece right there, the one I removed before soldering work. All right, beautiful, beautiful. All right, good job. Well, now technically it's supposed to work fine after I assemble it, everything back together. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna let it dry. To help it dry, I have this super duper blower. All right, so now that everything is nice and dry, yeah, looks very dry to me, we can remove the protection for the what's going on here? What's all that white stuff? It's mold. It's all mold. Yeah, the laptop came from Oregon. Maybe it's just dust. No, it's mold. So, you know, I have to go down to the garage and use the compressed air to blow all of it out, because this is no, I can't send it like that back to the client. All right, I will see you in a bit. Let's see what we have here on the heatsink side. The heatsink also needs a good blow from here, because what happens is there is a thin layer here, right there, and right there. And yeah, there is no way to get, is there a way to get this thing off? No, there is no way, it's all the same piece. Now, if you blow too much hot air into here, the plastic fan blade's gonna fall apart, so don't do that. Be extremely careful with those fan blades. They're already brittle from all the hot temperatures from here, and here. So be extremely careful when you're blowing out this stuff with the hot air, not the hot air, with the compressed air. Make sure you're not gonna lose this pad, that pad, and this pad. So 3 pads here. I'm just gonna remember 3 pads, and the pads right here too. You don't want to lose them either. And it was too soon. I removed the whole cover, but anyways, I'm gonna be blowing on this side right here. So this is not supposed to be affected. All right, I'll be back. All right, so here's everything is nice and clean now, as much as possible. See. All right. Air blowing was really good. So we got all of the pads in place. And here, as you can see, fans are nice and clean. Nice and clean here. Well, almost perfect. I didn't wanna break the blades, so it was just like some light air blowing in here. But all of the dust is out. If you look through, you could see the blades like that. Yeah. All right. So if you look through from this side, you could see the blades of the fans now. So the air is circulating just fine. I spend more time on cleanup than fixing the connector. So this sets aside. This thing you're gonna move like that and like that, right? I believe that's the way to go. Yep. So here we're gonna connect the keyboard. Like that. Like that. Here we're gonna connect the LED lights. Alright. Good job. And here we're gonna connect the touchpad. Alright. Now I just wanna double check that the touchpad is all the way in because it's a short cable here. Yeah, is it? Yeah, it's all the way in. Good job. Good job. Excellent, excellent. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna connect this. We're gonna connect that. All right, so here I need to clean up the heatsink here and then put the new paste. All right, so the heatsink is cleaned up. Let's put the new paste. We need to cover the crystal. All right. All right. I'm not sure why this paste gives slight residue right there. I want to remove the residue. Yeah, excellent, 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 excellent. Good job. Okay, excellent. So you see, clean, clean, everything nice and clean. And I just want to make sure that the pads are here. This pad is here, this pad is here, that pad. This pad's supposed to cover this and this chip. There's not two of those chips. This pad here, this one, there's nothing there. So good. I just want to remove this extra dust that accumulated while I was cleaning everything off. And this dust right there. It's not supposed to be here. All right. Yeah, excellent. Excellent. Just double checking to make sure the connector is connected properly. Right, excellent. All right, okay. So now we got the silver screws to screw in the screws. Right, so I'm making sure that everything is nicely put together. So okay, let's see where's the number 1. So here, it's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like that. Don't over tighten those, because the screws goes into the pads that are soldered, and sometimes you can just break off that nut that's soldered. So just light torque, don't overdo it. All right. Okay. So those 3 cables are connected. There is a screw here. This is all connected. New paste here and here. All we have to do is put the new battery in place. Let's get the new battery. Here is the new battery. All right. Remove the... All right. Let me compare it to the old one. All right, so that's the new one and that's the old one. Cabling seems to be correct. Okay, so the cabling is correct. The only problem is the cable is a bit too short, but maybe it's just hidden inside of the let's see what we have here. 52.4 work hours. Same exact model. I mean, the model is the same on the sticker, but it's not the same battery. It's thicker. As you can see, the battery is much thicker. And yeah, no, I mean, this new battery is much thicker, even though the model is the same. And this is Dongguan Louis Electronic Incorporated Limited. So, and this is GTAC Technology Kushan Co. Again, hopefully it's all the same, because I mean, if you can build cars now, I'm sure you can. I mean, electric cars, you can build the batteries as well. Right, so let's connect it here and see if it's gonna rotate in place. You know what, I'm just gonna put glasses on just in case this battery gonna explode or something, or catch fire. And it doesn't fit quite well. Let's see. Right, no, sits right in, but this one is slightly thicker. All right, slightly thicker than the original one. Let's see, this is from the original. There's a little pad here, and there's a bit right there. Maybe it means that I need to get those stickers out from underneath, because if this is gonna be, well, yeah, I mean, the battery is thicker, all right, so hopefully it's gonna be more it's gonna hold more energy in it. We're gonna have higher capacity. So here we're just gonna do this stuff here, like that, like that, like that. Okay, good job. Good job. All right. Maybe I should bring it like that. Better do it right here. Top of this, like that. Okay, good job. Now, one other thing, I think there is another pad here someplace. Is there a pad? Yeah. No, that's not a pad. I was thinking there should be a pad on top of this guy here, but there is no pad, cooling pad, because as you can see right there, it's melting already. Right here, if you can see right on this side. Can you? You probably can see it from the camera, but anyways, so there is some, let me show you. You see right there on the left side, there is like miscoloration. It's a melting chip, and sometimes there should be a cooling pad here, but there is no cooling pad. Let's see where it should be at. should be at here someplace. Right here should be a cooling pad, but it's not there. And by the way, this is a non-painted surface and it conducts electricity pretty badly. So one of the reasons I'm in business, because this thing, people save money on not, you see right there, conducts electricity just fine. So that's not supposed to be like that. And but again, one of the reasons I'm in business. And you can see mold right there too. So again, from Oregon. Yeah, so anyways, here how we're gonna put this cover in is we're gonna just guide the left side first, because you got the USB ports there and the speaker phones. All right. That's really strange. I don't have one screw anywhere. Really? Oh no, it's right here. Two screws. Okay, never mind. I was panicking too early. So here. Doesn't want to go in. Strange. Okay, good job. Good job. And good job. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let me see, the holes align perfectly fine. Let's test it out and see if it's gonna work. All right, so we got a brand new power supply. Wow. And the power supply, it says 7.7 amps. How many amps does this thing need? And 7.7. Wow. I never seen a powerful, a power supply of 7.7 on such a low profile. So I would say a knockoff, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's the original one. But I'm surprised. 7.7 is such a small profile, like this profile. I mean, really small profile for 7.7 amps. All right, so let's do. As you can see right there, seems like there's a bend here, right there, you see? And maybe the tip right here is faulty. And maybe that's the reason why the connector broke in the first place. You want to inspect the inside of the barrel. Sometimes it gets oxidated, but on this, the barrel looks good. So we're gonna measure the voltage right here. Yeah, the voltage is steady. No, steady or not steady? Here, let's hold this guy like that. Yeah, the voltage looks steady. Okay. And we're gonna connect it here. Let's see, do we get any lights anywhere? Anywhere? Yeah, right there. We got the white light right here. Right there, you see? Okay. So that's a good thing. Gonna open it up, press the power button. And you should probably get something on the screen in a second. Right there, MSI, I guess. Dragon, Tiger, Maine Coon. All right, so here we got the screen, and we got right there the icon that shows that it's charging the. Let me show you the icon. Be able to reach to switch to the AC right there. Right there, you see the icon that shows that the battery is charging. All right. So I just want to get this guy out of here. And let's see if the touchpad is working. Touchpad is working. Keyboard is working. And the Wi-Fi should probably pick up. Yeah, the Wi-Fi picks up stuff. All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please leave a like, subscribe, and you guys take care and have a good day. Thank you so much. Bye. All right.